Hello, and welcome to the True Faith Transfer Show with me, Adam. The deal has been confirmed. Ryan Fraser has signed for Newcastle United on a free transfer. Now, this is one I'm really excited about. Granted, Bournemouth fell off a cliff the second half of last season, which ended up in them getting relegated, which obviously is one of the reasons that this opportunity presented itself to Steve Bruce. I think he's going to be an absolutely crucial addition to this squad. We have severely lacked creativity in our final third. We rely on a couple of players to try and get the goals that are going to try and survive, or even better, maybe we try and establish something or build something. Maybe not. It is Newcastle United under Mike Ashley after all. However, Ryan Fraser, a couple of years ago, was one of the most sought after emerging talents in the Premier League. He managed 7 goals, 14 assists in that 18-19 season. Now, that is fairly incredible for a relatively modest mid-table side in Bournemouth. He was electric. It's his directness that I really like and admire. He's got pace, his versatility as well. He can operate off both wings, which, that works alongside Sam Maximan, who can kind of do the same thing. And it just gives us options, doesn't it? It means that, if we want to change it up, if we think that the left wing has got a better chance of beating the left fullback, then you switch him across, and Ryan Fraser will be able to add versatility in that respect. Now, last season, as I said before, Bournemouth fell off a cliff. He had troubles. He didn't get as much game time, about 1,000 minutes less than his previous best season. That excellent season 2 years ago. So, even he managed 1 goal, 4 assists last year. But for a player that honestly about a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, was being touted as, could be going to Arsenal or certainly one of the elite clubs, the fact that we, Newcastle United, have managed to beat what would have been a lot of interest in him. And maybe it's a little bit surprising that maybe more better football clubs than Newcastle, more appealing clubs, went in for him, because you've got to think that if he had a shot of getting into even a top 8 side, he probably would have taken it. However, for once, geography might be on the side of Newcastle in that he wanted to allegedly move closer to Scotland, for who he's an international player, let's not forget. And it's worked out really well. So, really, really crucial player, I think he's going to be this season. He will get a lot more game time because we need him to. And you just think, attacking midfielders of Almiron with Sam Maximan and Fraser either side, that's really exciting. And that's, they're all small, quick, attacking midfielders, creative. And it's just going to be, that this pace on the counter-attack. We don't play a possession game. So having pace going forward, but having pace and actually being able to muster up an end product, I think, is going to be the key here, because we know that on his day, he creates. Now, he's one of a couple of years ago, during that really, amazing season he had, he was one of the biggest chance creators in the entire league. Little Ryan Fraser, who actually surprisingly 26 years old, which is a funny thing to say, but I always just assumed he was a few years younger. But maybe we are now in a position where, if we've got him for his peak years, hopefully. So that's encouraging, and I think this marks a kind of maybe a little shift. There's seemingly definitely a plan, and especially with other players we've been linked with this summer so far, there's definitely a plan to bring in proven Premier League experience, British and Irish players. He knows the league. We know he can perform in it. Maybe, we can kind of dismiss his previous season because there were troubles there clearly throughout the club of Bournemouth. I mean, there's a lot of talented players in that squad. Doesn't necessarily mean one bad season turns them all bad. And maybe that's helped his game. You know, the fact that he has had a difficult year, and then we're a club, a big enough club, that he can think, right, I've got a lot to prove here. I want to show that I can still do it on the Premier League stage. And that one season, that purple patch that lasted the full 9 months of the season, wasn't a fluke. That he can do it in a new team, and with a new lease of life, and with faith in him, and maybe he excels. And I'm really, really excited about this one. He does have the ability from set pieces as well, which is really, really crucial, because I sometimes felt last season we didn't always have, you know, the pedigree from set pieces to complement. You know, we've got a fair few big lads in there, and, you know, without a strong enough delivery, then that kind of renders, you know, that attacking threat fairly useless. But I think somebody like Ryan Fraser can bring some pedigree, can bring some better delivery. His crossing is excellent, and hopefully with this addition of hopefully goals, but certainly assists, I believe he's going to create a lot. It gives us a better chance of addressing what has been a huge problem for us, scoring goals. And not just the Steve Bruce year, even Rafa's last year, although I felt that Rafa was working towards something with Rondon and Perez, and you could see it evolving over the course of that season, his last season there, Rafa. But Steve Bruce had huge problems, and he saw his defence get worse, and he saw his attack get worse. But hopefully this kind of signing makes us potent again, and that's been a huge problem for us. So I'm really, really excited about this one. I'm glad that he's finally, after a few days of deliberation, has decided that Newcastle is the club that he wants to join. He's going to be excited to get started. We've got games coming up thick and fast, so great that he's over the line finally. And I'm really, really excited. I think you should be too. He's a great player, and I think he's going to come good for Newcastle United. I've been Adam. This has been The Transfer Show. Join me for another one. Hopefully there's loads more to come. Cheers. Bye-bye.